Okay, so how does someone go from being the internet's favorite person to, well, a public villain, seemingly overnight? We're going to dig into how just one comment from a huge star ripped back the curtain on this weird and powerful Hollywood ego machine. And it all started with this one sentence. Just this. Timothée Chalamet said this while he was promoting a movie, and boom. That's all it took. An absolute firestorm online. He probably thought it was just some casual, off-the-cuff thing to say, but it sparked this huge, immediate backlash against a guy who was like the internet's favorite actor. So yeah, the backlash was intense. People were coming out saying he was disrespecting these massive, historic art forms. But here's the thing, and as we're going to see, the level of anger, the sheer scale of it, it kind of suggests that, this wasn't really just about ballet or opera. Something else was going on. I mean, the reaction was so fast and, let's be honest, kind of theatrical, right? This wasn't just a few angry fans on TikTok. No, no. We're talking professional ballet companies, real opera singers, all posting these super dramatic response videos. The outrage was so over the top, you'd swear he'd personally gone and kicked Tchaikovsky's grave or something. But here's the real twist. This wasn't even the first time he'd said something like this. So why now? Why did this one comment just completely blow up? Well, it's because the anger was never really about the comment itself. It was about him. See, the public's view of him had already started to change, and this was just the spark, the final thing that lit the fuse on a powder keg that had been building for a long, long time. So how did we even get here? It's been a journey, a total transformation from, the internet's quirky, universally loved boyfriend to a guy that a lot of people now see as pretty arrogant and out of touch. And you can actually trace it pretty clearly. If you go back to, say, 2019, he was that humble, kind of awkward indie darling everyone loved. The real turning point, it seems, was around 2024, when he had this super aggressive Oscar campaign. And then you fast forward to now, and wow, between his latest interviews and that ballet comment, it honestly feels like we're looking at a completely different person. And look, it wasn't just the one ballet comment. It's stuff like this. Describing his own acting as top-level shit. I mean, come on. That's what really cemented this new, much cockier image. You put that together with all the rumors floating around about him being difficult on set, and a picture starts to form, right? The picture of an actor who maybe, started to believe his own hype a little too much. Okay, but what if this change isn't just about him? Like, what if it's not a personal failing at all? What if this is actually a predictable pattern, something that's baked into the system, the product of an industry that basically has two sets of rules, one for the stars and a totally different one for, everyone else? And this just lays that divide out perfectly. So, for example, on the set of Wonka, the crew gets, a pretty basic breakfast. Meanwhile, Timothée Chalamet reportedly had his own private chef preparing 3 separate meals for him to choose from every morning. It's a world where someone like Robert Downey Jr. can have his own private compound on the set. They literally called it Downeyland, and an $80 million contract that also, by the way, includes a private jet. It's just a different reality. And this whole culture of ego, it reaches its absolute insane peak with the modern and, let's face it, pretty twisted version of method acting. The original idea behind method acting was actually really simple and internal. It was all about using your imagination, using empathy to get inside a character's head. It was about psychology. It was not about making life a living hell for everyone on set with you. But somewhere along the way, that idea has morphed into this bizarre competition of who can be the most outrageous. It's basically performance art at this point. You've got Jared Leto mailing live rats to his co-stars. You've got the stories about Daniel Day-Lewis demanding that crew members carry him around and spoon-feed him just because his character was paralyzed. It's wild. And, Robert Pattinson just nails it with this quote. It's such a dead giveaway, isn't it? You never, ever hear about an actor going method to play someone who's, kind or generous. It's almost always an excuse to be an absolute jerk, which, that speaks volumes about what it's really become in Hollywood today. So the really crucial point here is that this doesn't just happen in a vacuum, right? It's a whole cycle. You have actors trying to one-up each other with these extreme stories of commitment. Then the Academy often rewards these big, flashy displays. And why is that? Well, it's because a huge physical transformation is easy to see. It's like tangible proof of hard work, you know? It's much easier to see than quiet internal acting. So you end up with a system that basically rewards performative suffering. And that whole cycle brings us right back to where we started. Timothée Chalamet. Because when you look at it through this lens, his whole transformation starts to seem less like a personal failing and a lot more like the totally predictable result of a seriously flawed system.
And if you think I'm exaggerating about the system, just listen to this. Major action stars, we're talking Vin Diesel, The Rock, Jason Statham, they have clauses written into their contracts that literally say their characters cannot lose a fight. On screen. It's in writing.
It gets even more absurd. In one of the Fast and Furious movies, there was a fight scene between The Rock and Vin Diesel, and they had to completely rewrite and reshoot it so that neither of them looked like they were losing, because both of their contracts said they couldn't lose. Think about the level of ego that requires. So all of this really leads to the main question, doesn't it? Do stars like Timothée Chalamet just become arrogant all on their own? Or does the industry that literally treats them like gods have something to do with it? Seriously, think about it. When you're surrounded 24/7 by people who never say no to you, who laugh at every joke, that totally warped reality just becomes your normal. And that leaves us with one last, kind of uncomfortable question. When an ego is so carefully built by an entire system, the studios, the awards, even the fans who build up all that hype in the first place, can we really be surprised by the results? Or are we just pointing fingers at a monster that we all, in some way, had a hand in creating?